Think I'm live? Yes, let me just check everything's alright and running before I start. Sup everyone, this is Draco Evolve back yet again with some latest Manchester United transfer news. Now, these are all speculation guys, and as always, thank you for everyone that's been tuning in. This is new to me. I've never done speculation videos live, but it's to do with interactions, right? So why not? I thought I'm digging the vibe of all these live streams, so I thought, yeah, let me just go for it. Plus it's easier, like it upload straight on YouTube rather than me rendering it and then waiting for the render, then the upload. It's so much easier. But as always, we're going to take a look at what's been developing throughout the day in terms of transfer news in regards to Manchester United, as well as having a peek of what's happening in the next few hours, or tomorrow in that case. As always, I try to bring you some of the latest that's going around before I jump onto the chat, you can say. First up, it is my thumbnail news. So if you're watching on YouTube, you know the thumbnail by now. It is the thing around JADON Sancho. How many of that video have we covered with him? I guess not much, not many, I think. But JADON Sancho is potentially going to be much cheaper than we expect. This is according to the managing director. Now, the managing director has hinted that, and it's a direct quote for him. So as always, yes, I do a lot of speculation videos, but anything that's direct quotes or etc, I will definitely bring that to you as well. As always, some of you guys said there's loads of other news, but if I cover every single United news, we'll be here for days, mate. We'll be here for days. But this is what this article in particular reads. Borussia Dortmund managing director Carsten Kramer expects asking price to fall due to the pandemic. That's not a bold or new prediction by any means, but it could certainly be a hint that the German giants are prepared to let Manchester United target JADON Sancho for cheaper than previously priced. We have been strongly linked with a move for the England international for several months, with the 20-year-old himself reportedly keen on a return to England. In the past, it has been reported that we need to fork out an astronomical figure of £120 million to bring JADON Sancho, but this is what the managing director has exactly come out and said. Everyone has to be flexible as possible. I'm sure the business on loans will become of higher relevance than periods before, and for sure it will take longer time to plan your squad. I'm very sure that not on July 1st or even August 1st your team is done. Flexibility is important, patience will be important. I'm very sure the expectation of high fees will go down as well. So there you go. I mean, he has sort of put United in a strong position in terms of making a bid. Now, in terms of, say, he talked about the loans. I think loans will be relevant, and I do agree with that. I think loan signings will be more of a thing for majority of the clubs, especially the clubs who are not financially strong or have been affected by this pandemic. Now, in terms of JADON Sancho, he didn't say JADON Sancho. Obviously, he's not going to say JADON Sancho directly, but the last bit of thing that he said was, I'm very sure the expectations of high fees will go down as well. Now, JADON Sancho has been quoted in around to 80 to 100 million pounds, but I think there were reports coming out in the past, of the last couple of months certainly, that JADON Sancho's, not just JADON Sancho, any other players around the world will definitely be not be going for high fees, right? There's certainly going to be lower, and he has pretty much confirmed that the expectations of high fees will definitely go down, and I agree with that. I mean, it'll be strange for clubs to spend hundreds or £150 million on players. Some clubs can spend £100 million on players, and in these times, you can say, and to spend that much on players, as well as some clubs have followed some of the stuff, will certainly be a PR disaster for any club in the world. Now, certain clubs in the world can definitely match any financial output that's required, and Manchester United is one of them. The financial power that Manchester United have, despite being the fact that they're in debt, is astronomical, and a lot of reports and pundits have come out and said that one of the biggest winners will be Manchester United, because they have the financial muscle. The pandemic will not have really much affected them in either way, and I think that's a good thing. But it can also be a double-edged sword. It can also be a double-edged sword, guys, because clubs might think, oh, Manchester United can spend, so why not, rather than them we're saying 60 million pounds for Sancho, let's get the full asking price, which is 100 million pound or whatever it might be. So it can be a double-edged sword, but obviously nothing is confirmed on that side, but it's just a lot of punditry talking in regards to Jadon Sancho. Make sure you smash the like button, guys, if you're watching from YouTube, that is. It'll go a long way. Thank you so much. Next up, we're going bang 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 today. Next up, it is a new transfer target. So this is in an article that Manchester United are keen to sign a League One defensive ace to add competition. This was put out roughly an hour ago, so it is pretty new, it's banging new. But this is what I'm going to read. This is according to Times. Manchester United have set their sights on Monaco left back Ford Ballo-Touré as the transfer window approaches. The PSG youth product joined Monaco from fellow French side Lille in January 2019. He has since made 45 appearances for Monaco while assisting 3 goals. United scouts have earmarked the player as the one who can provide competition for Luke Shaw. The former Southampton star has failed to hit the heights expected of him at Old Trafford. United are keeping an eye out for cut price deals. Given the financial impact the pandemic has had, they could, however, be tempted into making a move for the 23-year-old Frenchman. According to the report, the defender will challenge for the first team spot should the switch be completed. Signing the Frenchman could provide to be an obstacle in the rise of youngster Brandon Williams. The 19-year-old has excelled when given the opportunity and shows that he can compete at the highest level. So this is the new news coming around about this player, Ford Ballo-Touré from... don't worry, it's not Yaya Toure or anyone like that, guys. But in saying that, I think we need a left back. I definitely believe. Is it a pressing concern? Is there an emergency signing that is a priority to sign a left back? No, because we've got Brandon Williams and Luke Shaw in that position. However, with Luke Shaw's injury, he's prone to injury. Plus, in recent games before the season ended, he has fared better in a back three on the left side, more so than on the left back. Brandon Williams is still young. He has still got a lot to learn. And I think for a 19-year-old to be playing an X amount of games, especially considering the fact that Luke Shaw is injury prone, and the fact that, going forward, Luke Shaw has lost a lot of cutting edge. Signing on left back could be a priority, but it's not important. I have no idea on who Ford Ballo-Touré is. I've never seen him play, so let me know if you have heard of him. If so, is he a good player? I mean, he has appeared 45 times for Monaco, so he's no stranger to playing for the first team. But that is the latest on Ford Ballo-Touré. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Whether you're watching it now, get in touch with in the live comments, or if you wanna sit back later on, have your tea, coffee, or chill and leave a comment, I'll always respond, guys. I'm just gonna have a quick look at my chat. So I know this is being streamed on Twitch at the same time as well as YouTube. Ollie says, I don't think we have enough depth in the left back position if you want to aim high in the big cups and Premier League. I am absolutely in agreement with you. I think we do need a left back. I think it's not a pressing issue, it's not a priority signing, but left back is needed, considering that Luke Shaw is up and down in his form, although he has finished strongly. However, I think he's injury prone at the same time, and Brandon Williams is being so young. Signing another left back will do wonders for us to challenge in competitions, but it's not, for me, the priority signing. Talking about priority signing, it's up to the next one, guys. It is Adama Traore. So this is from the Manchester Evening News that came out that Manchester City, not talking about City, will face stiff competition from Liverpool and neighbours Manchester United for Wolves winger Adama Traore, according to reports. While still going strong in the Champions League, City have seen the grip of dominance on the Premier League slip this season and will almost certainly lose their crown when football resumes in England. As a result, Guardiola may look to freshen the squad. Obviously, what do you do when you're being puppy-fed with money? You go and buy whatever you want. Checkbook manager. The lightning quick winger scored both goals in a shock 2-0 win over victory for Wolves at the Etihad earlier in the season, and then the return fixture he scored and grabbed the assist in a thrilling 3-2. According to the report, City, United and Liverpool are positioned to battle for the Traore in the summer after his brilliant campaign. It is reported that the German giants Bayern Munich are also interested, but since the 24-year-old has 3 years remaining on his contract, he won't go on a cheap. So there you have it. This is a bit of news coming out in regards to Adama Traore. Look, you know, he's an absolute monster. I mean, for those, look at his thighs, it's like it's massive. But for those of you that watched Wolves play, especially Adama Traore, he's an absolute tank in a sense that the right wing is a position that Manchester United must improve on, 100% must improve on, and it is a priority signing. Yes, because it's a priority signing, every single right winger in the world will be linked to us. However, there are few that will kind of make me happy. JADON Sancho being the number one for me, but Adama Traore is also a good signing considering that fact that he has potential. He's still 24, guys. He has bags of pace, perfect for counter-attacking and pressing teams, bags of energy. He is Premier League proven, and obviously he can score and assist at the same time. Let's look at his stats. As I said, he's 24-year-old Spaniard. So far in this particular season, he has played 43 times across all competitions, scoring 6 goals, assisting 10 assists. That is not a bad return. However, as the report says, he does have 3 years left on his contract. I don't think he's going to come on a cheap, but I think it'll be a good... I think he is one of the Wolves players, along with Ruben Neves, is good enough for the next step up, if you know what I mean. I think he can step up, and I think he can do well, in my opinion, in any clubs that he goes to. He has the hunger, desire, and I wouldn't mind him in at United. It's simple as that. But if we were gonna spend 60, 70, whatever £1 million for him, I don't know, man. I don't know if you're gonna spend that much money on him, and then get rid of JADON Sancho, then yeah, I won't be happy. But that's the latest on Adama Traore. Two more bits of news for you guys, for me to deliver to you guys. There we go. Before I end the stream, guys. So Di Marzio has spoken. So Di Marzio has claimed that in his report that, here we go. I'm going to read it out to you so we can discuss it. Di Marzio goes on the report that Alexis Sanchez is also keen to convince Inter management to keep him around at the club past the end of the season. The Chilean has had a hugely unforgettable loan spell, but will do his utmost to impress if when the season resumes. This is coming from Di Marzio. Now, for those of you who do not know Di Marzio, he's a credible journalist, and his stories are pretty much almost legit. Not all the time, you know, not everyone's perfect. But when someone like Di Marzio speaks, you kind of listen, right? You don't listen to the Sun or the Times or all that crap. But he goes on to say that Alexis Sanchez wants to stay in Inter Milan. He's going to try to convince Inter Milan to keep him on past the end of the season. Obviously, we don't know when the season will restart. He's had a poor campaign with Inter Milan. Obviously, he suffered an injury. But I think Alexis Sanchez is a type of player. He's reaching 30 now? I think he's past it, man. I think a lot of... unless he drops his ridiculous wages, which he's not willing to drop, guys. Unless he turns around and says that I'm willing to take a pay cut on the 400k a week that he gets, then I'm sure a lot of clubs will line up for him. I think a lot of clubs are kind of put off by his wages that he's getting, and it's silly for United to be offering him that sort of wages regardless. Yes, at the time it looked great, it's fantastic, like everyone's happy, but it's not worth it, guys. I think that is not worth it. But that's the latest on Alexis Sanchez. Last bit of news is Coulibaly. So Manchester United, this is according to the Mirror, Manchester United could be pipped to Coulibaly by Newcastle, guys. But out of everyone, by Newcastle. According to a journalist, Manchester could be pipped to Coulibaly at Newcastle United. This is what he has said. I believe he will go to the Premier League, where there is Newcastle in pole position. Now, I have no idea who Paulo Esposito is. I have Zero clue on how credible he is, but it's quite interesting that he mentioned Newcastle and a top defender like Coulibaly. Like, we all know that Newcastle is potentially on a verge to be taken over by billionaires, and there's gonna be a lot of spending from them, I reckon, if they are taken by it. So obviously all the clubs will be linked to Newcastle. I think Newcastle's where it's at the moment in terms of excitement, because their owner is an absolute toss. We all know that. So anyone coming in, the fans, I'm sure, will be happy, and it's a bonus that it's a Saudi investor that has come in to potentially take over at Newcastle. And obviously Coulibaly, look, for United, I'm a fan of Coulibaly. I think he is an amazing defender, certainly at the peak of his powers. Albeit he's 29 years old, but he's still good. I think Newcastle taking Coulibaly will only mean one thing, guys. Money talks. Money talks. Simple as that. Coulibaly will only go to Newcastle if Newcastle give him a ridiculous sum of money. It's as simple as that. And that's why I feel Coulibaly heads will be 10. If his head is 10 by that, look, footballers' careers are short. We know that, but he could go on a last sort of massive paycheck, or be like sold into a dream, like new owners, massive spending. You come in, here's your money. We can have a lot of these players will be challenging for this. It could happen, and it'll be a shame if someone like Coulibaly does end up at Newcastle United, because I do believe that Manchester United should go after him. I mean, he's a fantastic defender. I said it in my videos yesterday, guys. I think United do need another defender. Definitely need another defender. Lindelof is still suspect for me, but outside of Maguire and Lindelof, Phil Jones, as actually says, on a 500k contract. He wishes, by the way. He's a huge Phil Jones fan. Is Phil Jones, Eric Bailly, injury prone and crap. You got Chris Smalling on loan, Rojo on loan. Who else do you have? There's no one else. I do believe we do need a centre back, a solid, probably a world star centre back. You never know. You'll give someone like Lindelof, who's still young, 23 years of age, to rotate and ply his trade and learn and grow in the game, rather than playing 40-50 games, regardless of whether he's mentally okay or his morale is high or not. He's going to be shoved into the first team because we have no other cover, and it can just be a detrimental effect for a young player like Lindelof, right? Because in terms of defender's age, he's still young. He's still young for a defender, 100%. He can still learn, and I'm sure he'll learn. But that's all the latest Manchester United transfer news. Now, let me know your thoughts in the comments below if you are watching from YouTube. Really appreciate for anyone that's joining in on Twitch. I'll be back again with this particular video not tomorrow but Thursday, because on Wednesday and Sundays I don't bring any United content. Get a couple of days off. But I'll be back stronger on Thursday. As always, guys, have a fantastic evening, and I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's Football Manager live stream, which will be at a later time, which is going to be around 5 p.m. rather than the 4 p.m. UK time. Hope to see some of you there, and stay Farafari.